What is going on, all y'all listeners? Have we developed a name for
the Wi-Fi's, like Wi-Fi, but Wi-Fi.
It's Wi-Fi. It's really, it's not filers.
Oh, you like filers better?
I don't give a shit what I like.
Why
Whatever
can't we
you
decide?
like. You
Whatever
know?
I like? No, the audience.
The audience. What's up, guys? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I am a little envious. I think our name of the show is fine, but it really it doesn't have an obvious like a
fan name.
Yeah. Yeah. Even Help I Suck at Dating, Jerry was telling me they call them like the
suckers?
Something suckers. It's pretty, I forgot what it was, but it's
cute.
pretty it's clever.
Darn it.
Yeah. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Valentine's Day.
Right around the corner. Looming.
So excited. Big plans?
No.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. Last year, I got pizza last year. It was the saddest thing because I went to this pizza place next to my house and the lobby of this pizza place was full of just sad looking people. They were really behind on the pizzas. They weren't expecting a huge rush. And we were all just like, we just want to go home and eat pizza.
That makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
The pizza industry might pop.
Yeah.
Also, maybe the ice cream industry might have a surge.
Yeah. But you don't really want to go out and get it by yourself on Valentine's Day. That's not
order in.
Yeah.
Chinese
order in.
food.
Yeah. Postmates.
Postmates really through the roof. I'm guessing. Yeah. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
I have no immediate plans.
Uh-oh.
I doubt anything.
Is anyone going to be upset that there are no immediate plans?
I don't believe so.
Okay. You got such a politician about this subject. I don't believe so.
To keep people guessing.
This is where you gotta, if you got a side chick and a main chick.
This is where you really have to figure it out.
Yeah, because the side chick's gonna know.
Do you think that's what it is?
Yeah.
Or maybe more realistically, this is where if you have been hanging out with someone and you just kind of been casually dating.
Yeah.
You either have to
shit her, get off the block.
Well, it's a potential it's like when you're driving down the street and you see something down the road and it's just like, I have to do something. I either have to like swerve around it, hit it head on, jump. It's something you can't just keep going at the same pace or something bad's going to happen.
You're comparing Valentine's Day to roadkill?
Yeah, I am.
Oh.
So yeah, if you have been dating someone, it's an opportunity for that someone to check in.
Just check in.
So you might have to come up with something.
It's a dumb holiday, right? Or do we like it?
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm going to try to look at it as a way I'm going to spread love to people around me.
You know what? Yeah. I like, wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Single people should wish everyone they see happy Valentine's Day.
Be like the Cupid.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day. Oh, why are you so excited? Well, because I'm alone. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Are you having a happy Valentine's Day? Yeah. Just shout out some positive energy and then go home and eat pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Or you can get some essential oils.
Ooh.
Treat
yourself.
You could treat yourself. Because, yeah, I don't think... guys don't want essential oils for Valentine's Day, I don't think.
Why not?
I mean, I hope they do. I'm just being...
You don't have to get a guy anything for Valentine's Day.
Do you? How's that work?
Just yourself,
Do men expect... why am I asking you this question? In a relationship, did I ever want... I guess I got to say, I always felt like the burden was pretty much on me.
Yeah.
Like... Take her out for dinner,
right.
Do something nice.
Right.
If she got me something, I guess fine, but I don't remember being frustrated if I wasn't thought of.
Right. I don't think that.
It was like a way to like make sure I show you I still love you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that check-in holiday. Anyways,
yeah.
Great episode. Heather McDonald joins us.
She's fabulous.
Host of Juicy Scoop and funny comedian.
Used to be on Chelsea lately.
Used to be on Chelsea lately. Used to write for Chelsea. Has a couple books out there.
Yeah.
She's always fun to talk to about life and pop culture. She is a loving mother and wife and very open about her life, both as a comedian and as a mother. And,
yeah, you don't see that
wife.
many female comedians that are also like really big into family. So it's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, and she's obviously very progressive and very open, but also has a very conservative side to her.
Yeah.
And she, you grew up very religious and, talks about being Catholic and Catholic guilt. And she's still...
I liked that.
She still has that life. She still has a very traditional kind of family core. And so it's always fun to hear that balance from someone. So I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation with Heather. I know I did. And anything else, Rochelle?
No, you got it.
By the way, I always forget to mention Rochelle's my producer on this show. So censor. Don't forget to send us 5 stars, guys. Obviously, send in your questions at asknick@castmedia.com. Don't forget to subscribe. People are loving some of our merch out there. So if you want to check it out, viallfiles.com. And without further ado, Heather McDonald. Speaking of Valentine's Day, if you do decide to give your guy a gift.
Yep, this is the perfect one.
Give him the gift of smooth balls.
MANSCAPED.
Give him the gift of not bloody balls.
Okay.
I'm just saying, sometimes you're down there, you're trying to groom, and you want him to make sure that it's not so foresty looking, and then he goes and he tries to do it, and he comes back, and it looks like a massacre.
Blood? Has that happened to you?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, listen, it's the thinnest part. I don't know much about women's anatomy, but as a guy, it's the thinnest skin that you have.
Yeah.
Literally. And then when you put like metal objects that are moving at incredible speeds down there.
Yeah.
And it's awkwardly shaped.
Okay, the Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0. It's the perfect gift. It comes with a lot of stuff. Perfect package for his perfect package, if you know what I mean.
He will really appreciate it. So help him out. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code VIALL at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code VIALL. Stay sexy this Valentine's Day and Manscaped. NOOM. Shavings make a pile. Don't have to do it all in one day, my friends. We know this. Obviously, everyone's trying to lead healthier lifestyles. People are trying to get in shape, and your diet is such a big part of that.
Yeah. So we use NOOM. What's your goal for the year? Do you have one, a health goal?
My goal, especially as I get older, is to really just maintain.
Yeah,
for
it's
you, it's harder to do. In life, our schedules get busier, our responsibilities accumulate. We find less and less time for ourselves, and with that, not only do we find less time to work out, but it's easier to cheat on your diet. And by diet, I mean just what you eat. That's why they call it fast food, because it's convenient, it's there, and it's hard to stay away from. But NOOM does a great job of giving you ideas and suggestions on how to stay the course. So to speak.
And my goal, I want to stop eating so bad, like when I'm stressed or when I'm busy. So because I'm going on to my NOOM app, I'm logging what I'm eating, then I can be cognizant about it and then make different choices next time. It's all psychological.
Yeah, well, they're great, and they make it very easy for you to get assistance with some dietary habits.
Super easy, yeah.
You don't have to change it all in one day. As we know, small steps make big progress. Sign up for your trial today at Noom, NOOM.com/VIALL. What do you have to lose? Well, visit Noom.com/VIALL to start your trial today. That's NOOM.com/VIALL. How you doing, Heather?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
Heather McDonald, everybody.
You better, share, give me some Instagram love. I drove an hour in traffic for you.
What do you mean?
I mean, when I do a show with someone of your Instagram caliber, I would like to be tagged. I don't want just a swipe up. I'd like an actual square. Is that something that you're willing to do?
So wait,
on the real page.
I have to post a picture with you for coming on my podcast.
I think that's a fair thing to do for someone of my caliber.
I feel like it's the other way around.
Oh, I'll definitely post.
Okay.
I will definitely post. Remember,
Is that why you're here?
no, I mean, I like you and I know you have a good podcast, but and I'm like, oh, that'll be fun. I'm free. I'm not going out of town this weekend. So I wanted to come and I love this view.
And then you wanted dedicated.
I would like, I'd like some Instagram love from the experience. And I'm just going to start saying it up front and not be shy about it.
Not be shy about it.
No.
You will definitely get some Instagram love.
Okay, thank you.
I can't promise you'll get all the love that you want.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know yet. It
See
really
how the day's going.
depends on the content we put
If
together.
you don't have a great outfit, you don't have a pea coat you want to show off, and you just are like, I got to throw up something.
You look very nice today. I look
Thank you.
kind of like I just decided to put on what I wore yesterday, which is partly true.
No,
It's a clean t-shirt.
It's a clean t-shirt. Tennis shoes are cute.
Yeah,
You look good.
it's fine. Yeah, when I went on your podcast, you made me
We did the toddler jump,
the toddler
which
jump.
is which I have trademarked. No, I haven't.
Have you?
But
Why not?
I've been calling it the toddler jump, which is when a bachelor, stands still and then the camera goes across the park and then the girl has to run, jump, and jump on her man like a toddler would jump on a parent. And
There is it's a bizarre
That's
amount
really
of
funny.
why
Why does it happen, Nick? Why do they do that?
Kelly did it in this episode.
Yeah.
The most recent episode. It doesn't.
it happens every season, numerous times with numerous people.
I don't know why. It's weird.
And then it's
I've
almost
never been
weird
on a
when,
date.
and then you'll see a girl that doesn't. Like she runs up and they just like embrace, and then they zoom on and she just tilted her toes a little.
And then Twitter's just like, who's this ungrateful bitch?
Why isn't she
like why isn't she
wrapped
excited to
around-
be
Yeah.
here? Jesus.
But so I made him do it. I made him
Amazing.
stand, and at first it was very scary because I hadn't done it.
And Fortune was that we're having Fortune on soon.
Oh, good.
But she was there. I'd never met Fortune before, and she's just like watching Heather jump into my arms, and Heather made me do it
It was amazing.
3 or 4 times.
Did Fortune jump into your arms?
I
No,
asked
but
her, but
she'll-
she did not. She did not want to. We were trying to debate who should jump into whose arm.
Yes.
And
But it's amazing. And a lot of people now use it. They're like, Heather, they did the toddler jump, and I just feel special.
I love it.
Yeah.
Have you written to Bachelor ABC about possibly, getting cred for naming?
Well, Chris Harrison, your best friend, is at my country club now. So I did talk to him about this season a little bit before it started.
And
Because it's in Westlake Village where Peter the pilot lives or is from. He seems to enjoy me, but whatever, I think I mentioned the toddler jump to him. He's like, oh, you're right. I have a couple of fantasies that I've been secreting, like that I would like to see happen in the franchise. One, I think I've already talked to you about before. This is my favorite one. This is that a bachelorette will find she's pregnant. And because she'd have known 3 guys within 5 days, she won't know whose baby she's carrying.
yeah, we've
Talked about, and then I've told you this. This has been I've been putting it out in the universe, so it will happen if you believe in it. And then, it won't
Manifest
be
that
the baby when they finally come out and test it. It will not be the dude she chose. It'll be like second runner up.
Yeah, that
That's
is the
amazing.
ultimate
You want like
dream.
a Jerry Springer
Yes.
season. Yeah.
Then my other fantasy is that 2 girls will get in the house, and they will have had a former lesbian relationship like a year back.
Mm.
And they are like, whoa, what are you doing here? And then they're trapped with nothing to do and a little horny. So that's
Wait, so
they don't fall in love there. They were former, like just a tryst, maybe a threesome. Maybe they're both a little bi. And then they get to the house and they're like, wow, well, you look great. So do you. And then they start to,
they fall in love.
I don't know.
Well, that could happen.
Yes. And then
Also, they also don't like. I mean, a lot of the people go on the show aren't actually attract. There's a lot of people who aren't attracted to each other, and they just pretend.
right, exactly.
So that you might not even know.
Right. But that's kind of good with the 2 girls though. because it happened in Vietnam where two girls fell in love while they were there in the Vietnam Bachelor. But I'm saying they have a history. That's my other. And then my third fantasy is that on The Bachelorette, two guys that come like, and they've shown hints of this, really do like fall in love or get together. And they like, but they hate each other. They're like, fuck you, man. And then they're like fighting. And then the fighting turns into like
a hot makeout.
Yeah. So I'm putting it out there. I think we need it for the new decade, honestly, to keep this show going.
The show is doing very well. They haven't had to jump the shark yet, but
that's not jumping the shark. That's making it fucking great. I'm just saying.
I think it would be fantastic, but to have that situation happen would be a challenge.
Okay.
In the casting space, don't you think?
I'm not saying to cast it. I'm just saying I want it to occur.
You want it to occur?
Yes.
Well, I guess you'd have to have two guys who are bisexual or gay.
Everyone now, pretty much.
Who knows? I don't know. I don't speak to people's sexual orientation. It just only gets you in trouble.
Yeah.
At least
good.
Stay
safe.
At least straight white guys.
Yeah, it's a hard time for your kind.
Yeah. I know. I'm really feeling it. How have you been otherwise?
Everything's been great.
You got your hit podcast, Juicy Scoop.
Thank you. It's been doing really great. Do it every Tuesday and Thursday, and then special episodes Friday if you're Patreon, and just doing a lot of stand up and doing great. All my shows sold out in January, so I hope that'll be a trend throughout the 2020. And I have a special that I shot that we're shopping around right now, and hopefully someone will want it. If not, I'll be a Christian and share it with the world for free.
Or you putting your Patreon?
That's not free.
True.
No,
you are shopping it around.
I'll shop it around, but I'm just saying, we'll see what happens. It's too good to keep from the eyes of the world.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, then someone will buy it.
I think so.
Yeah.
There's interest enough, so we'll see what happens.
So on your Juicy Scoop podcast, you're always hoping for the Juicy Scoop.
Right.
Do we have any juice for me?
Give to you.
Yeah. I mean, well, this may determine how much you end up on the Instagram. If
I get just a sad like Insta story for 24 hours, or if I get full blown
coverage. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, what subjects are you looking at? I don't really have.
You have an interesting life. I don't know. You're well connected in the Hollywood scene.
Am I?
Your whole podcast is to get.
I'm going out. I'm going out tonight with my girlfriends.
What are you guys doing?
We're going to Wally's. Have you been there in Santa Monica?
What is it? No, I don't think
it's like a really cool wine bar, and
you know what?
It's
Maybe
big.
I think
it's kind of big. It's kind of cool.
I have been there,
and I think it's a pretty good scene.
It is a nice little scene.
I'm like a few years older than the average girl that's hitting the Santa Monica scene, so I think it's like a little bit classier, like a little bit older. So I'm ready to have some fun. I mean, I'm married. I'm not looking to like find someone, but I'd like a scene that's like appeasing to my eye.
As a happily married woman,
I don't know if it's happily. Each day is different. It's a roller coaster. That's what makes it so fun, isn't it? Yeah.
I met him. He's a nice guy.
Oh, he's very charming and a delight. Yes. Everybody that meets him.
You are married.
Yes.
Maybe happy. Yes. Possibly not. You have your children.
Yes, I do. I have my children.
When you go out with your lady friends.
Yes.
Now you're like you said, you're not necessarily looking to do anything inappropriate, but would you like to get hit on?
Yes, absolutely.
Like, do you want to get to the point where I could take them home? Like, how far do you go with the flirt before it's wrong?
Oh, not too far. Not too far. I mean, I always wear my ring.
Okay, so
which apparently that's like now that's what people look for now.
Yeah.
Women, I look
like don't take it off, ladies.
Women
like,
say it's like women
because
say they find it to be an aphrodisiac for other men.
I guess, and I also think like younger guys know like, hey, this chick, if she's ready to cheat or whatever, she is not going to want to have my baby, or she's too old to have my baby, or she's not going to want to get married.
Is that
So I think it's like a nice down to fuck situation for some people, not me. I'm a good Catholic girl.
We know that Heather is, again, while maybe not happily married, committed, married.
But you look good. I mean, you could get it if you wanted.
Absolutely.
So a guy comes up to you and it's like, hey, hi, you look, what a great green dress, and can I buy you a drink? Do you say yes?
Buy me a drink is then that makes me see. The other thing is I have that weird like Catholic guilt where like I don't really want to waste this guy's time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's other cute girls. Like,
what if you like flash the ring?
If it's like a guy that seems wealthy and he's like, I got it, or like I was out with my sister one night and we ordered the drinks. And across the bar, then the guy brought the drinks, and the guy's like, those guys got the drinks. And they were fine looking. So we went over and like talked to them for a while, and they were married too. And it was just one of those things like they just wanted to have fun, like just talk. It was innocent enough. And, but like the other night when I was at this Wally's, which I haven't been in a few months, not like I go there every night, like I'm just like barfly, but I do kind of like it. It's, this guy, not my type, not attractive. I was waiting for my friend, so I was a few minutes early, and I was sitting at the bar, and he was very aggressive, like, what do you do? And, can I get your number? And I finally was like, I'm married. I'm not who you should be wasting your time with at all. So, I'm just saying, but nice meeting you. And he's like, okay, great, thanks. And he just moved on.
Oh.
But if he was Nick Viall, I may have talked.
Yeah. What if he was Brad Pitt?
Yeah. Brad Pitt. Oh my God. Still looking amazing.
Really, he really is.
Do you think Brad Pitt and Jennifer are gonna ever? No. Well,
we've talked about. I feel bad for him.
What do you? Oh, because he's got the 6 kids of the mean ex-wife.
No, I don't. Big picture wise, I don't feel.
You should feel bad.
I don't feel bad for Jennifer or Brad. They're both have charmed lives, but I do feel bad in the sense of like the pressure. I like that he's finally joking about it, but
yes,
this whole idea. It's just like he can't even look at Jennifer Aniston without the world freaking out. And like, imagine if he's like just started to get into a relationship and he's trying to like move on from his. His other, all his past relationships. And, he meets this girl and she's, I don't know, maybe she's not Jennifer Aniston, right? Like she's not a A-list superstar. Maybe she's a young, who knows who the fuck she is. And she's nervous that she's already dating Brad Pitt.
Or she's a comedian who's at Wally's, who's married anyway, but Brad sweeps her off her feet and she's like, hey, I'm no Jen Aniston, but I can do a Jen Aniston.
So you and Brad are, in the,
yes,
early stages of your relationship, and you're a little insecure. You think he likes you. You're not sure,
right? But
he's really nice. And then he goes to some award show, and he just like kind of looks at Jennifer Aniston, and the world freaks out and be like, "Oh my God, I need you to date." You might feel a little insecure, and you might
definitely,
it just might get exhausting after a while. I don't think they'll date.
I think what is fun about Brad and Jen is that we were so in love with their love when it began. And it's like many, many, many years ago, there was Liz Taylor and somebody else, but they got married twice. Like they got divorced and got remarried. Mm-hmm. She was also married 8 times. And I kind of feel like people are like, could this happen? I don't think she would ever want to marry him again. I don't think she wants to try to ever be a stepmom to those kids while they're under 18. So what I'm secreting and predicting is that they will get together eventually in a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. It'll never involve actual marriage. Because I don't even think that she was actually legally married. Here's some juicy scoop from my head. I don't think she was actually married to Justin Theroux. I think it was like I think there are people that are doing kind of like fake marriages where it's not totally legal. Like, hey, let's commit our love together.
So
let's have this. But if it doesn't work out, like we don't have this big freaking lawyer mess, who cares? And I don't know, because it seemed to end so easily and cleanly, and they're still friendly, yet she wanted that somehow like stronger commitment with friends and celebrating their love with her and Justin. So I think So maybe I think like in about 5 years,
5 years?
about 5 years, they'll really start hanging out together. And, once his kids are all like almost all grown.
No, 20 years. They're going to grow. They'll like, when they're like
80?
Yeah. They'll
Well,
like
they wouldn't be
the
80.
old
No.
friends.
70s.
They'll be old
No,
friends.
I think still like she'll be in her mid 50s. He'll be a little over 60. His kids will all be like teenagers or older. And that's when they'll start like, it'll happen subtly. It'll be like, I know this is crazy, but we're collaborating on a movie together. Remember they had the Plan B production company, which he got in the divorce. Something comes and they're like actually really passionate about it. It was someone that they knew story from when they were together. Like maybe someone's child had a weird disease that someone cured. And she's like, Brad, it's Jennifer. Do you remember my friend Melissa? Her son suffered from this rare disease, and I cannot believe he fought it and he won. And there was a doctor in South Africa who made it happen. And I think there's a story there. I think you could play the doctor.
Good impression.
I think, and then all of a sudden they start producing, and they're like, wait, Jennifer, no one knows Melissa, the mother of this child, better than you. How about you play Melissa? So now they're working together on this film.
What a creative
And
mind.
it is an Oscar winner. It is a feel good. It is based on a true story.
They both win.
And then they kind of end up together. They keep it on the DL. They're like, oh, stop her. But they end up just really having a nice time together. And then because it's second time around, she's like, hey, I'm not going to be the same chick when we were married during Friends. I'm not going to let you pick uncomfortable furniture. Okay? I don't like this fucking ugly
That's
chair.
why I got.
You're not an architect. Shut up. And he's like, all right. And she changes the dynamic because now she's in her 50s and doesn't give a fuck. And he's like, I'm good with that. Let's just have a dry margarita, smoke a joint, and enjoy your $20 million mansion in Bel Air.
Would you rather have that
Yes.
entire storyline happen,
Yes.
or the Bachelorette get knocked up by one of her guys?
Oh, God. It's got to be the Bachelorette being knocked up by one of her guys. Just because I
It's
put it
too
out there,
good.
I've talked
Yeah,
about it. There's
too good.
evidence that I've predicted it. That's another thing what I love about the podcast, because sometimes I would say things like I predicted what Meghan Markle would wear, what her wedding dress would look like.
How?
Like white?
No, boat neck, plain material, no lace,
Okay.
sleeves.
You predicted that?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
And I was doing press for my shows in Chicago the day before the wedding. And thank God I was on a televised, like local Chicago show. And I said, this is her second marriage and she's not going to want anything that looks like Kate's. So no lace. It's not going to be strapless. She's got to be conservative, but it's going to be classy and cool. And it's going to be a boat neck
Oh.
and plain white. The only thing I was wrong about is I said she will wear a significant piece of jewelry from Princess Diana. And she didn't at the wedding, but she did for the after party where she had the high neck outfit. So I woke up that morning and saw her photo and just was shook. Like I was shaking and I was like, and I was trying to find the clip of me on the whatever it was Chicago show. And sure enough, so people know that occasionally I have a gift
Once in a while.
once in a blue while.
Isn't that just guessing a bunch of
Yeah.
guesses and eventually
Yeah,
one
but
of
that
them
was
landing?
kind of crazy.
You should write romance novels.
Yeah.
Very
Thank you.
creative.
Thank you.
All right. So, and then we talk relationships or two on this podcast. I read Heather's got a couple books.
I do.
you know.
And I love that you read my book.
I read your
Your first
book.
one, which is that one's all about dating and everything, like from like 20 years ago when I was in high school and college and before I met my husband. So it takes me until I'm about 30.
It's a really good book.
Thank you.
About
Lots of funny stories and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
And you were before the Ashley Eyes of the world. You were kind of
Yes.
you were a late bloomer when it comes to having sex. You were a virgin until how long?
27.
27.
Wasn't she 27? Were we both the same age?
I don't.
I don't know, but I love
around
my
that-
Ashley Eye.
Around that
And
time.
yes. And it was, and very similar stories we have of it not being a religious thing, not being that nobody liked us. We were both cute, knew how to put an outfit together, liked to have a cocktail, liked to dry hump, liked to have a good time. But it was the same thing, like, oh, I just want to make sure this person's like my boyfriend and I want to be really comfortable with them. But then you get older and older and it gets weirder and weirder. And then people are like, oh, were you molested? Like, what's your fucking weird problem? You know, were you like in a Mormon cult or something? No. And so then you start to keep it like a secret. And that's kind of what I had shared in the book, is that then, like when I was doing theater classes and groundlings and things like that, I never said I was a virgin, but I would like never admit that. You know what I mean? Like I would just kind of keep the conversation so no one really knew. I wasn't like, I'm not, you know, shouting it from the rooftops or anything, because I realized, oh, this is strange.
Well, we all know the best part of my mornings now, other than knowing I'm still alive, is Athletic Greens.
You love your Athletic Greens. I'm on the Athletic Greens train too. I had it this morning.
It's tasty. It's delicious. It's full of the nutrients and vitamins I need. It's full of probiotics and prebiotics, because I tell you what, it's not something we talk about enough, is our digestive system.
Yeah.
And we need those things, especially, you know, if you get sick and you take an antibiotic, like you get strep throat or something.
Yeah.
Maybe you're, unfortunately you got the clap and you had to go in there and, you know, no big deal, no judgment. Sometimes you just take an antibiotic, but that can fuck up your stomach, and you need to build up the antibiotics, the healthy, natural ones that fight diseases, and probiotics are why we do that. So Athletic Greens, not only it tastes amazing, they have that stuff in there too.
I'm traveling. I'm going to my friend's wedding this weekend, so I'm taking my travel packs. So I don't have to skip a day.
It's amazing. Athletic Greens takes the guesswork out of everyday good health. Why not just try it? Jump over to athleticgreens.com/VIALL and claim my special offer today. 20 free travel packs valued at $79 with your first purchase. That's athleticgreens.com/VIALL.
Have you had the clap?
No. What is the clap?
I don't know.
Is that chlamydia?
I don't know.
Or is that like, what is the one they would call, like back in the day, they'd call it
The Black Plague?
No, you don't hear about it, but like you watch older movies and they
Elephantitis?
No, nothing crazy like that. It was just
I don't know what you're talking about. They talk about STDs in old movies?
Yeah, no, it was like a more vague term. It's I think it was just like getting lice or something, or
crabs?
Crabs, thank you. Look, when you hear people say
That's
you got
not an old thing. I had a friend who had it. Crabs crawling around in his pubes.
Ugh.
He got around.
MANSCAPED.
Never with me. I tried.
Like, unanswered prayers. Anyways, OPENFIT.
OPENFIT. Chances are you probably wanted to commit to working out more in the new year. Very popular.
But you didn't want to go to the
gym. No.
You don't have to. You have OPENFIT. You have a phone. You have a tablet. You have a computer.
Yeah.
You have these things that you can just access. OPENFIT right
excuses.
There. They have all these different types of classes, trainers, professionals.
Yep.
They have yoga, bar classes. The list goes on.
Yeah, I
endless.
always do Extend Bar with Andrea Rogers, because it just like sculpts your body. It's really targeted, so you know you're getting your bang for your buck.
And if you travel, like Rochelle's going to a wedding, she can go get that little bar class in right before she slips into that very beautiful gown.
Oh, yeah.
OPENFIT has changed the way we work out, and with my code VIALL, you can join me on a fitness journey personalized just for you. Right now, my listeners get a 14-day free trial membership to OPENFIT when you text VIALL to 505050. Try it for free or your money back. It's entirely risk-free. So, what do you have to lose besides the weight? Not much. You will get full access to OPENFIT, all the workouts, and a nutrition guide, totally free for 14 days. Again, just text VIALL to 505050, and that's all you got to do.
My advice to anyone is no, get laid. Like, don't let it go so long.
Yeah.
Protect yourself, use the pill, or definitely a condom. But if you also want to get on the pill just to be extra safe, and just knock it out. knock it out before like 22. If you can. If you're attracted, you're in that situation, and just go, you know what, if I never hear from this dude again, who gives a fuck? Let's just rip this Band-Aid off and not be Heather McDonald told me. Like, it's just gets weird.
Did you find when you were like in your early 20s and you didn't have sex and you felt like you were like, did you feel inexperienced and feel the pressure about that?
I still feel inexperienced.
And when you felt in
In the bedroom, you do?
We learned something recently on our other podcast.
Yes.
This and I'm just like coming up with this term called grooming, where
that sounds like a pedophile.
Yes. It's this uncomfortable thing where it sounds like certain guys will like they'll target, if you will.
I didn't want any of that. That grosses me out. Just talking about it
not
now.
You, but like
I know. But there was one boyfriend when I was 19 that like knew I was a virgin and was like too excited about it.
That's what
about de-virginizing, and I broke up with him.
Good
It
for
grossed me out.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And like it's apparently like these guys like there's this power dynamic. Because I was wondering if she ever experienced something because of. Did you ever notice certain guys with your?
I think kind of after that is when I started to keep it a secret.
Good job, yeah.
And then the few people that they were like, "What's the deal? Like, I've taken you out a bunch of times, bought you some, decent shellfish meals. What's your deal?" And then I'd be like, "Well, the reason is they would be so freaked out that they'd immediately like, I'm out." And I was like, well, that's either A, they didn't really like me enough, but also it's like they are like so freaked out. They're like, oh my God, the minute I have sex with this girl, like they're kind of conceited, like I'm going to be so in love with you. I'm going to be such a weirdo. I'm going to lose my mind, or God forbid I get pregnant. I would definitely have the baby because I'm Catholic, like all that kind of shit. So then after a couple times like that, then I really was like, all right. And then the person that I did lose it with was like a guy I had dated briefly in college. Met him at a bar one night randomly, a couple years post-college in Santa Monica. Dated, took me out on dates. He was cool. He was fun. And one night I'm like, yeah, let's just do it.
Nice.
And then the next day I call my sister and I go, you've been waiting for this call for 27 years. But I never told him. And then we waited we probably like went out like maybe like a few weeks longer than that. And then I kind of did what am I to you? And he's like, I don't want a girlfriend. And I was like, all right. And I was like, oh my God, I thought this would be so much more traumatic. That the guy I lost my virginity to doesn't want to like hang out with me anymore. But I was like, no. But maybe that's because I was older, So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. We'll from time to time we'll get a question or a girl who either she or her friend hasn't, and it hasn't had sex, and it becomes this and it just becomes this very confusing time for them. Yeah. Do I tell him? Do I let people know? Should I tell him? Is it my responsibility? People have all these other, and then their friends have opinions whether they should or not. And I remember like reading your book, and you had a strong opinion about like whatever you want to do, don't feel like you have. It isn't a burden, and it's not something you have to share. And I thought that was really, it made a lot of sense, and something that I thought people in that position might find very helpful.
Yeah, because why do you have to tell them? People are really judgy and everything. Yeah, you don't have to, and you don't have to tell the person that you're losing it to either.
Yeah,
you don't have herpes; you have virginity. Like, there's no like disclosure that you have to have them sign. So it's like they don't have to know, and they don't have to have that. Walk around with that gift or that burden for themselves either, that they de-virginized you,
I totally agree.
So it's like,
yeah. And if you want,
and I assume there's guys too that are like, shit, I'm kind of old now, and I worry about guys in this day and age because, they more and more, like I've talked to Dr. Drew about this, like, guys, they do so much just by themselves, playing on video games, talking to people on video games, and they have, so much porn right at their access. I mean, you could also just buy a sex doll if you have, and you need them to go out and be social, like, come on, dudes. Like, I'm raising 2 sons, and I'm like, no, Drake, you are going, my son, I'm like, you are going to, he's 17, and I'm just like, I don't care where you get in, but you're going to college as an 18-year-old living in the dorms. Like, you have to go and experience that, I think, at that age for our family. I'm not saying it's for everybody.
He doesn't want to?
No, he will.
Yeah.
He's fine. But I'm saying I actually am like very insistent on it, and was with my stepdaughter too. And a lot of people are doing the JC thing now because of it's so expensive. And I think that's fine for your family. I'm just saying my family is late bloomers. and they need to get out and be social before I think it could be awkward. You know what I mean?
I was just alone all the time, and then college being in the dorm, it forced me, and it was really hard, but it was good.
Yes. I mean, my stepdaughter was really shy, and now she's like the life of the party, and it was great, and she loved it. And, and so I think, but like I said, everybody's different. Some people are like, no, my kid needs to be home for 2 more years.
It's an interesting point.
How young everybody was.
Little
They're all so,
kids.
everybody's taller than me now, except for my stepdaughter. She's still smaller than me.
People are
We're looking at
more
pictures of my
accustomed to
family.
getting awkward because of
Yeah.
we live on our phones or
Yes.
and whether it's you're sending your kids to college or other things, it's good that you're getting them out there and like forcing them to be more social, because it's so easy to isolate ourselves these days.
I kind of think I wouldn't be surprised if like in the next 4 or 5 years, we see like a whole nother shift of like having to go out and be social and having like more things where people are forced to see, more companies and things where you're actually meeting people without getting their whole story before. Like, I think that's really hard. That not just the apps, but anything. Like, even if I wanted to set you up with somebody, you're telling me you wouldn't look up that person,
Of course you would.
know what their ex-boyfriend looked like, know everything that they did. But if I just said, I have a friend, her name is Jennifer. She's 26. She's a junior associate attorney. She went to LMU. She is, very attractive, blonde, great body. Loves to hike, doesn't have any pets.
Is that a good
Would you like to meet her? And trust me, she's like an LA 9. Okay, so you'd be like, well, you'd still want to see her, probably.
It's funny because what will happen is because I'm old enough to lived in a world where everything wasn't accessible.
Right.
So there for like a few seconds in that scenario, I'll be like, interesting. And then I'll be like, wait, just show me her goddamn picture. There'll be this thought of like, it's so like, why am I wondering what she looks like? Just show me what she looks like.
But I think that's so hard because, think about when you meet people in person, like at a bar or a party or a Super Bowl party, and they come up to you and at first, maybe your eyes didn't lock and you weren't immediately attracted when you walked in the room, but after he makes you chuckle, after you've had 2 drinks, now you realize you have so much in common, so you give him your number. Like, that's the way it used to work. But now it's like, if you're not attracted to that photo within 2 seconds, you're like passing.
No, I've hung out with some of my lady friends who are on dating apps, and for fun, I'll be like, just show me what you're working with here.
Yes, it's so fun to look at someone else's thing.
She'll go on, and I'm like, "Can you mind?" And like, I won't do anything without your permission, and I'm going through, and I'm like, handsome guy, and she's like, "Eh." And like I go in, I'm like, what? Ew, what is going on? And just the way I've heard some of my women friends break down these guys' photos, I'm like, I'm never going on one of these things ever, because it's just so it's so hypercritical.
Yes, and it's also like who you like and who you don't. I just remember I was like in the jacuzzi with my sons. We're just talking like in our backyard about stuff, and somehow my best friend comes up who's single, and she was dating this like single guy at the country club. It wasn't Chris Harrison. It was a different one. And my sons play golf and everything. And they're like, what happened with that? And I go, he picked her up for a date and he like brought her flowers. And she was just like, ugh, that's it. And my boys were like, what? Like, he goes, I'm just so confused. Like, how is that? And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Like, I don't know how a guy would even know what to do. I don't know but it wasn't the kind of flowers. It was just that she wasn't into him.
She just doesn't like him.
She wasn't that into him. And then that made her realize he's really into her, which then freaks you out.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? This is my tip to guys. If you really like a girl, but it's not completely mutual, hold back a little.
Right.
Because you might
opposite of what you want to do.
You might scare them off.
How do you know that at first?
I don't know.
Right?
I guess the girl would be the only one that knows. Yeah.
So is your country club like a really happening place?
No.
It sounds fun.
It's not that happening.
Do you see Lauren Zima there? She's dating Chris Harrison.
Oh, no, I haven't yet. No. The both times I saw Chris, he was just by himself.
Oh, nice.
I know it's fun. But it's out in Westlake. I mean, it's very suburban, very like mostly couples. It's not, some divorced people, I guess, but it's not like, it's not the city. So
do you spend a lot of time talking about dating and women with your sons, specifically your 17-year-old? You're very open. You literally have a book about your virginity and losing it. I've seen your Instagram. You've dressed up your sons in like wigs.
My younger one. He won't do it anymore.
And make him reenact the housewife stuff. It's pretty hilarious.
Well, I had to cast some people and no one else was available.
You're very open. So what's that mother-son conversation? Now, I mean, he's 17. He is ready to get out in the world. And
I mean, my son is very cool and has good friends and everything. He does not have a girlfriend. He's social enough. You know what I mean? But he's also like, he's like kind of like he's like an old soul. I mean, he likes to golf. He's in this poker group with all these other kids from that area. They started meeting at like some of the half burned down houses out there. It was like,
oh my gosh.
And
is that
there was this
safe?
poker thing. Yeah, like it was like they would just go to this. The kid was like, let's go to my house because it's like under construction. We can meet there.
Oh my god.
And so and then he like loves his investment class. So he's actually like buying and selling stocks. Like he'll go to some business school. He's not like a super nerd though. He could be a little more ambitious with his grades, but he likes what he likes. And, so no, I mean, of course we talk about all that stuff. We watch shows like that where I'd be like, what do you think of this girl? And,
and he doesn't say anything to mom.
Oh no, he'd be like, she's annoying, or oh, she's the best looking one, or oh my god, she's not attractive. So like I know like their type, which is just a very typical cute blonde. I remember early on I knew their type because they liked Emily. Remember Emily, the single mom that was blonde?
Yeah, so sweet and
gorgeous.
Demure. Yes.
Perfect face.
Yes,
so
perfect.
I'm like, really? Like your mom's a hot brunette, not me. Not someone that looks like me. No.
But that's the thing. They're probably too young to really know.
It's like a Barbie doll. Yeah.
His first girlfriend will end up being his type, probably.
Probably, yeah.
She'll like fuck him up emotionally and break his heart, and then he'll just trying to like replace her for the next 10 years.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I mean, don't you think? Probably. I mean, it's probably what happened.
Hopefully.
Are they? So you still go to church?
We go to church, not all the time.
Yeah.
But no, we go to Catholic school. The youngest one is still in Catholic school. He wants to go to the Catholic high school, the all boys school, which I'm happy about. My other son goes to the public school. And I mean, it's still a big part of my life, but I travel some weekends. So if I come home, like, I'm not like, oh, I got to go to the 5:30 mass. I'm not. We were the family that like my dad would find the church on vacation, and we're like, we have to go to church on vacation.
Oh, that's definitely my family.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, really?
And I'm like, I will never be that person. So I mean, I go in. It goes kind of in waves. Sometimes we have like a cool priest now that's like young and more hip, so that makes a difference too when you like kind of like your priest.
You joke a lot about obviously Catholic guilt.
Yes,
is a real thing. Like, how does that affect like your parenting style now that you are still like a part of the church and you go? But do you? I
mean, really, my parenting style is I just was like, my goal was always just I'm going to introduce them to it, and I just want them to have a relationship with God that in times of trauma or sadness, that they have a higher person to turn to. Mm-hmm. And I think they have that, and I think that's all I wanted, because I just remember one time my friend in college that had no religion background at all, she's just like, would hear us talk, and she's like, I don't know the stories. I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, oh, I want them to know the stories, like the Bible stories, whatever, the typical ones. And so, so with them, I mostly am like, look, and I say this to anyone, like, everybody's good at certain things. You are excelling. Like if you're really good at math, or you're really a great artist, or you're a comedian or whatever, pursue those things that are your gifts, because God gave you those gifts. And if you don't pursue them because you think they're going to be too difficult to attain, I think that's a F you to God. So like, know what you're good at and be grateful
a little
for
Catholic guilt right there.
Yeah, but know what you're like, figure out what you're good at, and like, and know that not everybody can do that. Like, so those are the things that you should pursue, whether it's like you're a really good athlete or or whatever that is. But
so follow your passions.
Yeah, and also kind of discover like what comes easy to you.
Yeah.
is a gift. Like could never be a mechanic. I never wanted to be a stockbroker. I never understood that. Like it didn't occur, but for a while there I was like, oh no, I need like a good corporate job when I get out of USC so that I can pay for myself. And I'm not going to pursue stand-up or acting because it's too hard and I'm from LA and I'm not going to be a waitress at 27 and da-da-da. And then when I got out in the real world, I was like, wait a minute, everything is hard. So everything is hard.
Yeah.
So you should only pursue something that's going to get you excited to wake up every day. And there's no guarantees, especially now. I mean, people switch businesses so many times. And in this world, I think you have to just, I think the most important thing is that you're willing to learn new things and adapt and, and accept the changes in whatever industry you're in, because your industry is going to change. And all of a sudden it could just be gone. So what else are you going to do now?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I think that's kind of what, young people have to realize that there's no guarantee.
Awesome.
I think that's great because we get a ton of people for whether it's a relationship that ends or a job they've pursued or something they thought they were going to do when they were 17. I always kind of joke that in our 20s we try to live up to the expectations we set to for ourselves when we're 15.
Yeah.
It's like we don't know anything about life, but we've decided to plan our life, and then when we're in our 20s we try to accomplish those goals based off of nothing. But people feel like once they hit a certain age, like mid-20s, that they can't take new risks or new adventures, or if things didn't work out in their early 20s, and they almost never do,
right?
Right? They feel like they have to just accept that world that they've made for themselves.
Yeah.
And it seems almost insane when we say it like that, but it is very scary. And a lot of people don't, take the next step or take that risk. Or
well, I also think a smart way to do it is if you're at a job that's like has insurance and is paying your bills, but it's really not creatively fulfilling to you. I would say stay in that job. Do not let the people know that you're not happy. Okay. But there's so much that you could do on the side. You could take, you could take a class if you really want to be a bar method instructor. So take that at night and get that certificate, whatever you call it, certificate. While you're keeping your steady job, like don't just chuck it all one day and like move home to your parents' house. Like be smart, because you are not 18 anymore. Yeah. But know that there are so many other options, but kind of have a plan and be smart about it, and protect yourself, and know that having that regular paycheck is really wonderful too.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep it forever, but like be smart about your move. And, and if you are unhappy in a job and you're not ready to leave it, keep your mouth shut.
Have you say this from personal experience?
From personal experience, but from other friends' experiences and everything, like don't start walking around with another miserable person to get coffee with and start feeding off of each other.
Don't do that.
Come in with a smile. If they bring you in and go, you don't seem happy, go, oh my gosh, that's completely not true, because they're getting you to try to quit. Yeah. So it'd be like, no, that's not true. Oh my God, I was just going to come in and say that I wanted to take on this new challenge or whatever. Like, know that human resources is not your friend.
Yeah.
Also not your friend, campus police. Okay? Not your friend. So if something bad happens, you don't go to the campus police, you go to real police.
Yeah.
Okay. So also police and detectives are not your friends either. Oh. So I've watched enough Dateline to know that. You don't have to talk to anybody.
Yourself
and a good lawyer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think those are the things. But when you're thinking like about a relationship breaking up too, I think people also have to, if the relationship breaks up and it was bad and it was a harmful relationship, you got to be grateful that toxic relationship is gone. But if you're sad and it was a good relationship, it just didn't last, you got to be grateful for that too. Because you're like, well, now I know what a relationship is like with a partner who actually like respects me, makes plans, was fun, was sweet, so now like I can build from that. Like I don't only have shitty ones, because only one, if you die with that person, is considered successful, I guess.
Right. That's what Nick always says.
And I think but I think there's many other successful ones. Like, and I think even marriages that end, you could go, yeah, it didn't last forever, but it was successful for these reasons: the kids, the business we built, this, that, whatever, So, and same thing when you're just dating someone for like a few months. Like, what did you learn from that person? Or you went outside your comfort zone, or you did date someone that wasn't your typical dude or girl. So now you could go, okay, like I can kind of open my horizons a little.
Change is scary, but yeah, the maximum number of relationships you'll ever have that won't fail is it's the most.
Are you dating anyone now? What? No. Oh,
keeping a tight lid on that one. He is.
I don't.
I wanted to ask you, Heather, because you're so like outspoken and you're so funny, and a lot of times men are like weird around that. But you found such a great partner for you who lets you shine and lets you be successful in what you do best. You have any advice for how to find that if you're not,
Well,
you're definitely the matriarch of your family, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but Peter is very he's very like macho in a lot of ways too, which is hard. And but what was great about when I met my husband is that when I was growing up and I saw female comedians, I knew I wanted to do that, but I thought to myself, what man would ever want to marry a female comic?
Is that a fear?
That was a fear of mine. I don't think it exists as much as it does now, thank God. But I really did. Like, I'd watch like any evening at the Improv type of thing, and I'd see who the female comics were. Yeah. And it was like they were so sharing so much about their life, which is like the opposite of what you're supposed to do when you attract a man, like all of that. And so, and I knew I always wanted to be a wife and mother, like, a lot. That was something I always wanted, like as a little kid and everything. I knew that. And so I was like, oh, that'll be. But then once I got out of school and I finally, after pushing down my dreams, was like, no, this is an F you to God. I got to pursue it. And then I got so fulfilled, like pursuing my dreams. And I could still date people and all that. But I was also like, well, I'll have a baby on my own then. Like, I'll just kind of like, whatever. I just
gave it up almost?
I was sort of just like, hey, what happens. And I'd either get like a guy that was either super excited about the fact that I was a stand-up, like too into it, or maybe wanted to do it himself.
Right. Every guy wants to do it.
Or
can I get some notes? Or
I'd get the guy that was like, well, wait a minute. How long are you going to do this for? Like, what? You're just going to these clubs and you're waiting in line and you're not making any money. And how many commercial auditions have you gone on since I've known you and you haven't booked one? So anybody like that, I was like, see ya,
Yeah.
And so Peter wasn't in the business and he just was like, oh, this is cool and this is fine. And then, throughout our years together, before I started writing Producer Chelsea lately, like there are lots of highs and lows. One year we'd have health insurance. One year I wouldn't, and he had his career and I'd go out on all these auditions. I'd have to drive in the, 10 at night, all the way to Hollywood to pick up the script. Because, they couldn't send it on a PDF file and read the script and get all cute and pay for a coach and go out for these things, which I never got. And he never was like, well, really? Wow. You didn't get that, so,
it's great.
So it was good, and now it's like, now there's a different dynamic in that I started doing this podcast and then it really took off thanks to him, like really helping to like management and learn it and understand it more than, because at the time when I started, agents were like, do whatever you want. What? You're going to do like they weren't even trying to be part of the contract, Now, of course, they're like, well, let me know when your thing is up and we can help you.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you can help me so that you can get, this amount for the next year and a half. Yeah. Like, so he was good at like negotiating and reading contracts when nobody else desired to do so. So then we came together and, but it's a challenge to work with your spouse. It's something I promised I would never do because my parents were realtors together.
That's right.
They were.
Yeah.
And they began working together when I was about 8. So that was like, 18 years into the marriage, very similar to my situation. I mean, that part is freaking me out because I bought the house next door to my parents. My husband is he has like a full head of hair, but it's turning very gray, which my dad had a full head of gray hair till the day he died at 88. And I have like my mom's personality and is more creative and disorganized. And he's like the one that's like, got all the ducks in a row. And, I have to go, this is getting weird. Like we have to, so it's a lot of ups and downs of like, okay, wait, and what's kind of cool is that now my older son, especially Drake, is becoming such his own person that he lightens it up, like he sees what we're doing and then he'll make fun of it. And then he'll just be like, how's that sound quality? Like act like my husband or whatever. And so we just try to, keep it going. But it's a challenge.
There are definitely moments as I get older where I'll do something, even if it's a subtle action by myself, scratch my head or just say something, and I'll have this like, oh my God, I remind me of my dad. And like those commercials, I don't know, like it's in some insurance commercial, you turn it
or you say little sayings or whatever. Like I will be like, remember the squeaky wheel gets the oil, which is a great saying. And that means like speak up and ask for what you want, because nobody else is gonna give you the oil unless they hear from you, and that's like such an old expression that my mom said, which I will tell my kids all the time,
Yeah.
But it's a weird feeling when you do something and you so much remind you, like you see your parents through you, and it's like there's a point in your life where you start doing that, and because when you're a kid, you see your parents so differently. They're so aliens, and you're they're like king and queens, or like they're just so different. And then you get older and you're just like, you look in the mirror and you see your parents. It's a weird feeling. It's super weird. I don't know. So when you were telling that story, it's just like, I know you're
that's awesome. You found someone to be like your cheerleader. You know what I mean? And
it's really
that's
great.
probably part of the reason you're so successful.
But it's got to be a challenge, always being around them.
It is. So, next week I'll be gone. So thank God. Next week I'll be in DC, everybody, at the City Winery. I think I still have a couple tickets left.
That's
Friday,
fun.
February 7th and 8th at the City Winery in DC. And my sorority sister is from SC. One's coming from South Carolina. The other one lives there. One's coming from Manhattan Beach. And one is coming from Phoenix. And we're all hanging out all weekend. And I'm getting like a late flight on Sunday so we can like have a boozy brunch in Georgetown.
Amazing.
So like I do have this great fun outlet that, a lot of mothers my age don't have, and reasons for friends to meet me or my sister to join me, or even when I just go alone. It's so fun to do stand up and meet my juicy scoopers and just be alone in a hotel room watching Bravo all day. I mean, sometimes I walk around the city and shop if there's like a better sales tax than California. But that's like the first thing I ask. Like, do you have Bravo? Yes, we do. And then I'm like, what's the sales tax? And they're like 5%. I'm like, all right, let me plan on shopping a little. But if it's like 9 and 9, I'm like, nah, all right, I'll just lay around in my room all day. I don't need to give you guys the business.
That's great. I mean, it sounds like
the highlight is coming to do your show, Nick.
Aww.
Really, truly.
Well, you got a loving husband who supports you, and you have the life to take a break.
Yeah.
And then in the meantime, you can try to get on my Instagram.
Exactly. That's another goal in life.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, before I let you go, we play this game called Do You Know Me?
Okay.
Are you familiar with this game?
No.
Probably not. It's a wonderful game. We try to get to know our guests by asking random questions that Rochelle picks.
All right.
And don't answer right away. Like, think to your head.
Okay.
I'll ask the question.
Okay.
Rochelle and I are going to debate. Who knows? And then we'll guess which one it is, and then you let us know who knows you better at the end.
Oh, okay. So you guys are competing against one another.
We
Got it.
I always lose.
Our audience will, they'll play along. It's a great, you should get it for your family.
I think I should. Okay.
It should be great.
There's so many questions about sex.
It'd be great for your sons.
No.
Yes. No. it'd be great. Yes,
Okay.
you could take these sex questions out. Like
They're all sex.
these are great questions for like how to get to know someone.
Okay.
You know, your
All
son's
right.
dating in college. You bust out the game, and you know.
I love it.
Anyways, I think it would be great for anyone over 18.
Got it.
Yeah. For question number 1. You ready? Would Heather rather give up social media over giving up television? Great first question,
I know,
Michelle.
because she loves television.
Great.
But
first
social
question.
media. I think she would give up social media over television. 'Cause
I think
she loves it so much.
I think she is, other than a mother and a loving wife, she's a businesswoman.
That's a good point.
And while she loves TV, social media is part of her business. And I think she would reluctantly give up TV.
What's the answer?
Nick is correct.
Oh, darn it.
Also, because with social media and everything, it is so entertaining because people post articles, so you end up reading things.
pretty-
and,
yeah,
you know,
watch
like
clips.
basically, I mean, just like playing on, you know,
Yeah.
and seeing comments and stuff like that. So you will get some things about the TV that you're missing
Yeah.
on social
That's
media.
a good point.
Okay,
That's a
yeah.
good call. Television's dying anyways.
Question number 2. Oh, yeah, and feel free to,
Sure.
explain your answers.
Okay, well, I think I did, but
You did.
Okay, fine.
Or if there's an anecdotal story. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You did such a...
Okay.
Has Heather ever been walked in on while having sex? No.
Yes. If you have 3 kids around, yes.
My parents have 11 kids, and to my knowledge, none of us have
I
walked in
doubt
on
that,
them.
Nick.
So what's the answer?
I'm going to say no.
Yes.
The answer is no.
Oh.
Because we have a lock on the door.
Oh.
And we would lock the door when they were younger. And I do remember my younger son like trying to get in the room, like in like a morning type of a
Sure.
situation, like get fed. And I remember him banging at the door. He's like, "Open this door, woman!" And it just was.
He said
so
this?
funny, yes. And then I remember another time. It was like right after, and I was just like in my bed, so I just like, pulled up my stuff, and my clothes was like to the left, on the ground.
Right.
And my stepdaughter walked in, and she looked at the clothes on the ground and like saw that like she's like, "Why don't you have your pajamas on?" And I was just, just the horror shame. And I was like, "Oh, I just got really hot last night," and she's like. Sure you did.
Oh,
Jesus.
How old was she?
gross.
She was probably like 12 or
Okay.
11.
How old was your son when he did?
Oh, he was like 4. He was hilarious.
So he probably won't.
No, he wouldn't know what was going on. He just was like, "Why is this door locked, woman?"
So funny.
No, it'd be kind of funny if he was old enough to remember saying that, and then later in life be like, "Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you never remember that time."
But my parents again the same way.
Oh.
They'd lock the door, and and it, I would always just walk right in there, and I'd have to walk in there in the morning and be like, "I need to check for this cheerleading uniform or whatever." And then there'd be times when it was locked, and I was like, I remember I said to my mom, "I'm like, Mom, you still get your period. You're pushing 50. What are you doing to protect yourself? Because I am not taking care of like,
You said
a child that's not right, that you didn't."
Jeez.
Yeah, I was literally like, "Get your shit together, woman." And she'd be like, "Leave me alone. Stop it, stop." And then finally she was like, "Okay, your dad had a vasectomy after you." I'm like, "Well, thank God. I've been worried for 6 months."
The virgin speaking.
I can't wait to your sons lecture you and Peter on your sex life.
"Mom, I know you still get your period. What are you guys doing?"
How old was
Yeah.
your stepdaughter when you guys got married?
Oh, she was it's the juiciest story ever. You got
Oh.
read the book. No, he impregnated her mom like the weekend before we met and wasn't aware that she was pregnant.
Oh, damn.
Right out of a Lifetime movie.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I gotta read the
it's
book.
pretty good. So she's been in our lives since
Aw.
the beginning. Yeah,
And she's a delight.
Oh.
she is a
Oh, you met her.
No.
No.
I'm just-
yeah. No, she's a good
Uh,
girl.
Question number 3. Is Heather wearing shoes that cost more than $200? No.
And I won't be hurt by either answer.
I mean, I have no idea. I'm going to simply say no. You seem like a fancy woman, but also like thrifty. You pride yourself on looking good.
I'm going to say yes. If you can't see them, she's wearing
look very
leopard
nice.
pumps.
They're very
gorgeous.
cute.
The bottoms.
Okay, but
I'm going to say no.
You're right.
They're not.
Because they're Michael Kors.
Oh.
Which is not this
Definitely
Michael
not.
Kors. Like there's the fancy Michael Kors.
Yes.
But this Michael Kors is, I mean, I want to say
50
these are,
bucks.
they're not 50, but
No.
they're like maybe like 127 or one. So I don't remember what they were when I bought them, but they're very cute and
Very nice.
comfortable. I have ones that are more expensive and stuff, but you know, I kind of stopped doing that, like
Good
those
for
really
you.
like expensive high heeled ones, because they're so. But I will spend a lot like on the Stuart Weitzman boots. Because I
Oh.
have the skinny legs, and only Stuart Weitzman has the skinny leg.
Oh.
All the other like cheaper boots have bigger legged, and it
And they
looks
go all
like
the
two
way up
little
here?
sticks. Yeah. So it doesn't. I have to. That's where I have to spend the money. But regular pumps and stuff, I think there's so many brands that are like so cute
Yeah.
that you don't have to spend that much on.
Everyone has to look on YouTube at her shoes.
Yeah.
They look wonderful.
Thank you.
Did you get that one right too? Did you say?
She
No, I got
everyone
I got
wrong.
everyone wrong, and I'm okay with it.
That's fine.
That's wonderful. Right
Had
out of-
Heather eaten SpaghettiOs as an adult? No.
Yes, because two boys, you know, she was cooking them SpaghettiOs and then just scooping it into a bowl.
So you're
So-
saying so she has been 18 or older, I guess.
Yeah.
no.
Ah.
That is just. I'm not like a health freak, but that
That's
was
pretty
gross. And I think I got it for them once, thinking they would like it, and they were like, "Ew." And I never got in the habit of like eating the kid crap food,
Oh, that's
which a lot of people do because they're making their kid a sandwich or whatever. I just never got into it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, good for you.
Does Heather
yes,
weigh within 5 pounds of their driver's license photo?
I'll have to check. Hold on.
I just
I'm almost like due for a new photo.
just-
Doesn't everyone have to get a new one? For
Yeah,
the
we have to get
California
new
ID?
ones, yeah.
Okay, hold on.
I'm gonna say yes, just because you look great and whatever that.
Yeah,
photo-
I think yes, you are toit.
Wait, where is the weight on this? Why can't I find it? Oh, here we go.
Do you know-
Within 5 pounds?
within 5 pounds.
Okay, what was the answer?
We both said yes.
Y-
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
I feel like I'm just like say the nicest thing possible.
But
on
also,
those questions.
yeah,
I mean, you
it
look
makes
great.
sense. Yeah.
But who knows? What I mean, who knows
knows
what
what-
the
There was
driver's
a
license
time when it
number
was
said?
off. I mean, there was
Yeah.
a time when it was like, I mean, right now, I don't care. I'll say, you know, right down here, it's like 133. But I remember the time before this, it was 127.
Uh-huh.
And it was, I've not seen under 130 for many years.
Right.
I
You're-
don't really
how
have
tall-
any
you're tall,
desire
though.
to.
Yeah, she's small. You're teeny.
I want to say
I'm 5. I just joined a gym. So they had to measure me and everything. I'm 5'8" in like
Wow.
three-quarters.
Dang.
yeah. So
Yeah.
So yeah.
that's.
But I mean, there was time, I don't know, like that. I said that. It may
Right.
not- It may
That's
not have
like
been
your-
true
yeah,
when
you
I
put,
said
like, your
it.
smallest
Yeah.
one,
anyways,
you're like,
So, yeah.
the takeaway is Heather's looking great.
yeah.
Sure.
Total great shape.
Mm-hmm.
Was Heather ever suspended from school? Absolutely not. She was a virgin in the school. She was a rule follower.
Yeah, I'm going to say no, too.
No.
Yeah.
Never ever.
Before
I
the
did
interview,
get
I
in
would've said
trouble.
yes.
The most trouble I ever got was like half of my senior class at my all-girl Catholic high school planned a teeping of the boys' school, which was Crespi, and it was really like the really smart, like nerd girls that put it together.
See?
And I was like I was like in the more like not super smart honor classes, but like fun group. And so when it happened, our school was so pissed about it because we really did damage, and they brought us in, but none of the girls that organized it, they brought the ones that they thought must have put it together, which was my group of friends.
Oh.
And I remember the principal was like, what am I supposed to do? Tonight I have to go to elementary schools and say, become Louisville, become a woman, put tampons on your brother's school. Because we put like tampons, we hung them all over the trees like Christmas ornaments. And we took the pads that had the wings and we slapped them all over the vending machines and all this shit.
Nice.
And so I got in trouble for that.
Didn't even do it.
But not like a suspension. Never a suspension.
Wow.
Last question.
Yes.
Does Heather have any hidden piercings? No.
How many are on your ear? One?
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine there would be more.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
I have a clitoris. No, just kidding. No, I have no piercings other than the two in my ears, and I have no tattoos.
Wow. It's funny. You're a rule breaker and stand up, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? But then very conservative the rest of your life.
Yeah. There was a time I thought about getting a tattoo
Oh.
for like a minute, which I'm so glad I didn't,
Yeah.
which was going to be like a crescent moon for my sorority.
Yeah.
A lot of girls were doing that. And I was like, And then,
Way to stick that one out.
yeah. But you know what I do like in the tattoo world? I do like when people have just those small writing ones like on their inner arm, guys and girls.
I've
That
thought
mean something. Like, I think those are pretty. I think they look good with outfits.
I might someday
Yeah.
just get like 15 tattoos at once.
At once? No.
Well, part because it's
Oh,
like,
you would look good with tattoos.
I like tattoos on other
I,
people. I just
Yeah.
have never
I've thought
had
about
a
it.
reason to put one on
well, that's
me.
the same
so
thing. Is I've
Yeah.
thought about it, and it's just like I don't have any like,
significant thing that you want to
and then I didn't want to do it just because, and so there's a couple times I thought about it, mostly because I just want to look a little more dangerous.
Yeah,
Yes.
you would look cool.
But I, with my large family, I want to have tattoos that remind me of each of my
Right.
family members.
Yeah.
And so, it would be like, for example, I have one. I would get a bumblebee, and because my one brother, when I was in the 6th grade, was attacked by a beehive, and at the time, it was kind of a scary day. Where
like my girl.
he was, and he was fine, but like it reminds me of my brother Jacob, and so it's just
Right.
it's just a small story that and it was kind of like anytime something scary happens with a sibling, it's always kind of like you appreciate them that much more, just that
Right.
that
Yeah.
fear of losing
I mean, there's some
them.
people that do just like are really into tattoos, and it's like actually really beautiful, like art and
Yeah.
faces, and it's people. And then there's other people that do the simple things that really do mean something, like, oh, it's their dad's handwriting, and he's passed, and it was.
Yeah,
and they
so-
got
and it
that done. Things like that, I think, are really cool.
And it would
but-
be, and they would
yeah.
all be kind of small. It wouldn't be like
Yeah.
these big work. It wouldn't get like this giant bumblebee. It would just be like this
You're not going to
little.
be sleeved in bumblebees.
No, and so they would a bunch of little things that random
Yeah.
that you wouldn't think that it means something about a certain thing.
Yeah.
But then you ask, and then there's a story there.
I'm only judgmental when someone doesn't have good artwork. Because
Or
I'm
it's
like,
just like some tribal thing that they don't really know.
I don't
what
know.
it is.
Sometimes you see them and they're just not good tattoos, and you're like, really?
Yeah.
Like, come on, what did you save $5? Like, I mean, come on, like, get it. If you're gonna do it, like,
Yeah.
make sure you just like a plastic surgeon. If you're gonna do it, go to someone who's good and specializes in that.
Yeah.
Well,
Agreed.
On that note,
final
Yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah.
Heather, thanks so much for coming on. It's
Thank
always fun to
you.
see you.
Yes, it
I
was.
know that we've talked about your podcast and you are on tour. And
Yes.
obviously
Everything
Instagram
at
is very
Heather
important to
McDonald.
you. So how can people find you?
Everything at heathermcdonald.net. I have lots of dates coming up. This weekend will be DC, and then I'm going to be in San Antonio February 14th and 15th. I've got Palm Beach March 6th, 7th, and 8th, and I've got Cobb's in San Francisco March 20th and 21st. But everything is still on sale, and then I add to it. So follow me on Instagram. I do wonderful videos, creative, funny stuff. I'm worth your time at Heather McDonald.
Great.
What a pitch.
She's a pro. No, really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. And thanks, guys, as always, for listening. Don't forget to give us 5 stars if you have the time. What else? Sending your questions at asknick@castmedia.com, cast with a K. And we will see you on Monday.